Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here, we are back for another episode of The Rise. This is episode 53, The Way Between. As always, if you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is just like these fine folks you see here before you by joining us over on Patreon. Link in the description down below. While you're down there, make sure you join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I don't know, maybe the Night Beast attacks, but something usually terrible happens. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of things like edits and artwork and music and sound and all the overhead subscriptions and a mortgage. You know, just the fun things that make the company go around. With that, and with no further ado, previously on The Rise. The return of Erelthis' divine essence draws the attention of the Night Beast, forcing her to lead the survivors away as the godlings split off to find Lurisan. Excuse me. Deep within the ruins of the Third Deep, Lurisan offers the party a choice: descend deeper towards the Fourth Deep, or find a way to escape and save the Dawnsfall survivors. Choosing duty over destiny, the godlings seek a path to safety, but when they reach out to Erelthis, they find no trace of her presence in this plane of existence. I'm dying, apparently. With that, we last saw our intrepid team of gods inside the mouth of a giant statue head, where a bedraggled subterranean mountain man, Lurisan, was slinking away after giving you guys a map to where you need to be. I think we just lost Matt. Oh, there he is. And you had reached out to sense Erelthis, and you were unable to do so. So that is where we pick up. What are you all doing?
Korax was running.
That's true, which is very unlike Korax. How does everyone respond to Korax running?
Go ahead, Mina.
I was just going to say, Mina begins running and making Korax bad at running.
Fair.
Tempting. Yeah, I think Antares just like looks around like, and then her usual like, and then runs after him or them.
And Seydlitz.
You're muted.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure something out on my end.
You're good.
Seydlitz is probably running after them because he's made his choice to help them get the people to the surface at this point.
Fair enough. In that case, for the moment, until everyone else relatively easily catches up to you, Korax, where are you running to?
Back the way we came.
Okay. Like your intention is to head back to where the shantytown was?
Yep, exactly there.
Cool. You begin heading that way, and it is fairly easy for everyone else to figure out where you are headed to. So when they eventually overtake you, those who actively run versus those who don't, overtake your speed, it's easy for them to find out where you are headed and continue the heading towards this shantytown. And it's not long before you arrive, and you see that the entire area where some of your friends and family had been is emptied out. No traces of anyone being here. There's still like the occasional whatever they were using for like perhaps cutlery. There's like hot coals. It's only been like a short amount of time since you left here, so there's still the things they didn't need to carry with them, whatever made for like home here. So there is signs of people being here, but no sign of anyone here now.
Is there a sign of battle or gigantic footsteps?
There is no sign of battle or gigantic footsteps.
Antares would have ran next to Korax instead of overtaking him. Where's the fire, Korax? Shit. They're supposed to be gone, right? Why?
No, we were supposed to get the map for them to get out, and they are gone from. I can't even reach her. It's like she's gone. Like gone.
Like before?
Not like she
gone?
went up. Not like she walked off.
Okay, well, I don't know what that means. So, and if you don't know what that means, then where does that leave us?
The point was to help them. I don't know. Are they dead?
I think we would know if they were dead.
Would we?
I think so. I think you would know if your family was dead.
Well, I didn't know they were here.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what she would do here. So,
Corax, give me a difficulty 7 knowledge of gods roll.
Difficulty 7. Where are my divine shifts at the moment? I think one of them is in the grimoire, so I'll have 2 available. 1, 2. Take it on to 5. Submit effort. We'll use 1 effort. Success.
Barely. Okay, cool. You stand here, and the anxiety of loss and the unknown, right, are 2 big negatives for Corax. Knowing things is sort of how he gets by. And in this moment of like of uncertainty and slight panic, you have to ground yourself and think about what you know. And you start and fortunately or unfortunately, you are the god of knowledge, and what you know is an insurmountable fortress of knowledge. So you don't even know what you know. And you begin like thinking about what could have happened, where could they have gone, how could they have gotten there, why can't you sense them? All these thoughts begin to like spiral around your mind. And you return mentally to the Book of Gods. And you are drawn to, and it very much plays out like Sherlock Holmes, right? You're drawn to the name Etheros, the god of dawn and oaths. And then you're drawn to Yavanna, the goddess of shadows and memory. And in your mind, you see it's like written across like your mind's eye. And another one, and you see lines sort of drop down and connect and drop down again and split. And you see Orelthis, goddess of valor. And you see Raphius, god of sleep. And there's a moment where you sit with that kind of visual. The god of dawn and oaths, the goddess of shadows and memory, joined in union, children born beneath them. Orelthis, goddess of valor. Raphius, god of sleep. God of sleep. King of dreams. Land of dreams. And you realize that the king of Nod is Raphius, god of sleep. Brother to Orelthis, goddess of valor. And perhaps Orelthis knows hidden passageways to move between the world and Nod.
I think for this, Corax is on his knees, probably in the middle of like a square, for whatever makes for that in this space. His sort of heads in his hands as he starts to think of these things, and he starts to draw it out in the sand. And he looks up to Mina and says, do you know your uncle?
No, I Mum doesn't have any siblings, and Dad hasn't really spoken of any. So
Your mother is a Relphus, the goddess of valor.
oh yeah,
She has a brother.
She does. She never told us. He never visited.
He smiles as he looks between Mina and Antares, and he says, well, if what I know of them is correct, then your uncle is... Was it Raphius, Mike? Raphius? Your uncle is Raphius, the god of sleep, the king of Nod. And that...
What?
It's possible that that's where they've gone. It'll be why we can't reach them. How did you get into Nod before? Know how to get to Nod before?
My mother showed me a tincture that you could take to get to Nod.
Korak sits back on his haunches, puts his head in his hands. Well, I hope that that's where they've gone, because it's a lot better than the alternative. It at least means they're safe.
Mina looks at Antares and says, maybe you can pray to your dad and ask him if they're visiting.
I've never even thought of doing that. And she just kind of like runs a hand through her hair and like walks in a circle. I guess I can try. She looks at them. So you want me to ask him if they're there?
I guess that would be... I mean, he would know, wouldn't he?
Sure. Let's pray to Dad. Dear old Dad. And she like just puts her hands on her hips and she kind of like walks, like she kind of just walks away and she's like, and just starts thinking about a prayer to talk to him.
I love that. That sounds awful for you.
Yeah. So awkward.
While you're postulating on that, I will take another difficulty 7 knowledge roll from Corax.
Godly beings again?
Godly beings again, yes. Yes, sir.
5. We'll use 1 effort. And a submit. 18, success.
You give this information, right? And it was kind of one of those moments where like the thought occurred to you and you just sort of started saying things out loud before fully thinking things through. And as the talking is happening between Mina and Antares and yourself, you think back and there you don't sense that there is a god of sleep. You also didn't sense that there was a goddess of valor, but there was. If Raphius is, in fact, the god of sleep, he too may have hidden his divinity away. If his divinity is hidden, prayers don't reach him.
I don't know if Corax would say anything to that yet. He would at least let Antares try.
Just let her stew.
Just let her live there.
She'd just walk away and she'd just be muttering under her breath and she'd just be like picturing his face, specifically the last time she saw him when she was in that dream maze. when she was a child, and she'd just be like, "Are you there? Can you hear me?"
Are you there, Dad? It's me, Margaret. Oh no, I love that.
shit.
I love that
I
for
think-
everyone involved.
Yeah, I think she doesn't really know what to say, and for a moment I think she might find herself starting to get like choked up, and it'd be like, "Dad, are you there?" But she like stops herself, and I think the sadness is like replaced with like that awkwardness, and she just kind of like frustrated and like turns back around, not angry, but she's like, "I don't think it's working. Like, I don't feel anything."
I mean, he might have given up his divinity like Arelphus did, which means he
Arelphus-
probably can't hear you.
Maybe.
Mina's mum.
I know who Elphus is.
I mean, maybe that's why he can't hear you.
She said
It's
his
worth a
name
try.
was Uzket.
Uzket is the name of the King of Nod.
As in two separate people.
No, as in Arelphus and oh god. Arelphus is the name of the goddess of valor, not the name of Mina's mother.
Right. Okay.
Arel is Mina's mother. So Uzket is the king of Nod. Raphius is the god of sleep. So he has adopted a new name.
Got it. Okay. All right. So they're gone. We were supposed to help them. She thinks back. I think she said she didn't really need our help. So
Yeah, she said for us to find a way down because she could get them out.
well, we definitely don't have that now. So, and what did Lurasan give us? A map?
Yes.
Okay.
From memory, it was the map of the deep, and there was a stain to say that this is the way out. But it's a full map, right, of the whole deep.
Yes.
Could we pinpoint where we are on that map? Or at least someone who
Um,
can read maps properly?
Yeah,
Like
I
Seydlitz?
think with enough time, Seydlitz can easily find out where you are. So I'll say in the downtime of being in the village in this conversation of Antari's attempt at prayer, if Seydlitz wants to ponder the map or ponder the orb, he can do so and find where you are.
Me pondering my orb.
Yeah.
It's just strangely map shaped.
It's a globe. It's fine. It turns out the third deep is actually a globe. Yeah, you can find out where you are in relation to other things around you. You are at the base of the stair of the Colossi.
If I can find that out, could I, if it's a full map, could I make looks at the map and make inferences of like, this looks like, oh, this might lead somewhere that we haven't explored? You know, some maps have those details, like topographical.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are plenty of places here that you haven't explored. You basically came down through like a landslide from the second to the third deep, and then shortly thereafter found the survivor shantytown, and then you find Lurasan. You found like the Plaza of Giants. So there's a whole, like, the deeps basically run the continent of the world. So there's you could be down here for months of finding places you've never been before.
Well, my purpose would be, are we going up or are we going down still? I'm completely confused.
You only know for sure where the where one up path is. You have no idea where down is. But you do have a map now, so you can sort of narrow it down by just trial and error.
Seydlitz is going to, once he figures out where they are while they're talking, he's looking at the map. He's trying to narrow down possible locations of a way down. On the simple basis of if they go up, he'll have a lot easier time when they come down the next time if they go up.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a difficulty 7 navigation, map reading, anything of the kind.
I have nav.
Okay.
Div 7.
I'll also give you an asset because like the deeps has been like a huge deal for you for quite some time. So I assume you would have done as much research as possible about it. Ooh, exactly the right number.
Pass is a pass.
A pass is a
Yeah,
pass.
I know, but it's just like I had a feeling the dice were going to try to screw me again.
Oh no, you beat it. You beat it by 1. Okay. There are sections of this map that don't make sense. They seem to like they seem to either like extend on forever or disappear into other places. And based on what you have overheard from discussions with Korax and Mina about the Night Beast, the Night Beast is controlled in some capacity by I believe the Rakshasa Queen. So it must connect somehow. So there are parts of the Third Deep that connect to Soul Rest, the land of the dead. Whether that is because of the fall of Elanehtar or it just always was that way, you're not entirely sure. But there's sections of the map that just sort of get swallowed into Soul Rest. You're pretty sure that there's no path up or down there in the land of the dead. But good to know. You do see a what looks to be like a large either it's a temple a temple that's denoted that someone is buried there, or it is itself a large sarcophagi here in the Third Deep, which could be like there are giants down here. You do see that there are several like demarcated areas where like giants have like established locations, kind of like the plaza you were in where you find the giant head. There's no indication whether they are still populated by giants, but you do know that there are still giants here. And you're not entirely sure if you can befriend them or they will just squish and or eat you on sight. But there are areas marked where giants are. And your best guess is that Lurisan avoids those places. So you have a bunch of areas around where you are. You can be more specific if you're looking for something specifically. But you don't see any paths down, and you only see the one path up.
Seydlitz is going to take basically some way of marking the map, and he's going to start circling like points of interest that he wants to check out, and it's like places that aren't like, oh, giants just live here, but places that kind of don't make much sense, like those paths that kind of just go on. It's like, okay, they might go to Soul Rest, they might go elsewhere.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know if I missed this detail. Like, is it a hand-drawn map, or does it look like an official, like, I know everything might be hand-drawn in this day and age type thing, but does it look like an official deep map, like a city map of a city that once existed here?
It does not look like an official map.
Okay.
It looks more or less hand-drawn.
Okay. And can we tell how far away this exit up is, roughly?
There are no distances on the map, but with Seydlitz's roll, you know you could get there within the hour.
Okay.
Corax, I'm just gonna make you keep rolling nonstop. Go ahead and give me another difficulty 7 knowledge of gods roll.
And just to
Trying make
clarify,
me fail there, Mike.
What's that, G?
the night, the night beast is also the night beast is different than the night wolf, correct?
Yeah, a night wolf is just a wolf with 2 heads. It's wolf-sized. The night beast is a giant fuck you monster.
Yeah, but that's from Soul Rest, correct?
It's here. It's here in the third deep. It's hunting Arelthus. That's why you guys had to run. That's the howling you keep hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a god killer of the
But-
old age.
But that's the thing that cult was worshiping.
Yes. Also, yes.
Okay.
A failure.
Failed roll, Mike.
Would you like to spend XP?
I have no XP.
Ooh,
Wow.
rough. Well, we'll have to see about giving you guys some XP here shortly. Cool. So you have a map. You have a vague idea of where things are. You know where you are in relation to where the path up is. Excuse me. And you see that Seydlitz has begun marking areas on the map for like further discovery. What is Mina doing in all of this? Mina, you just learned that in rapid fire, you learned that your mother is a god, that the traveling companion you've had for these many months is also the daughter of a living god, and also your cousin, and also a giant fuck you god killer wolf is trying to kill your mom, and also your mom disappeared and maybe is in the land of dreams, or is eaten by a giant fuck you god killer wolf. What's up, Mina?
I think Mina is probably just looking to see if he can find out where Arelphus took them all. I imagine a whole heap of people moving from an area might cause enough disturbance for Mina to see where they went, or did they just disappear?
Interesting. Mina, you have been, over the course of many months, you have been finding and or stockpiling sleep and anti-sleep related items. And with your know-how, you could easily transport, at a minimum, yourself to Nod, if you so choose.
Is there any evidence of if he goes to his parents' place, if they were stockpiling anything that could transport people to Nod that there's leftovers of?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me like a difficulty 4 investigation. Difficulty 4 would be intelligence based, and any kind of investigation or perception would help you here.
Puzzle solving? Would
Yeah,
that
puzzle
help?
solving works. I'll take that.
No. Mina is
You
no good
kind of
at
rummage
puzzle.
around the area, and here's the thing. There's stuff here. The problem is none of it matches the stuff that you know would be for sleep or lack of sleep, or like for actually actively sleeping or avoiding sleep. But the things you know come from the surface. If what is stockpiled down here is sleep related, you're not sure because it's such a underground herb or underground mushroom or underground whatever it is that you're not entirely sure of its purposes. So maybe is the best answer you can get.
I think Mina will write down the recipe he knows and then go to Korax and say, this is how we can get to the land of Nod. Are you able to work out if any of the items in my parents' place could be substituted for these and have the same effect?
I'm not really a botanist. I don't. I mean, I read a book on mushrooms once.
I mean, there's lots of
But it was
mushrooms.
mushrooms
here.
of the Nightlands.
I thought you hated
No,
mushrooms.
Nightlands mushrooms. I do. I read a book on Nightlands mushrooms, and it scared the shit out of me. That's
I
what
mean,
happens
we
when you eat mushrooms.
Should we try to follow them to Nod? Maybe if there's a way from here to Nod, maybe there's a way from Nod to the 5th depth.
At this point, I'm willing to try anything, but let's make sure those people are safe first.
Well,
If-
if we go to Nod and they're there, we know they're safe. If they're not, we can come back, right?
Can we come back?
I did.
I think we need to trust Arelphus knows what she's doing.
I mean, I said that back in that temple thing, and you all chose to pick a way up instead of down. So
She looks at Seydlitz. Well, our first mission is complete, so the next
mean,
one is up to you.
unless anyone else has a way to reach Nod,
I'm not
If you
sure if
ask
Nod is
me-
our destiny.
And Terry's, if you personally ask me, I just gave up the fact that the key to going down on this basis of those people might need help. At this point, I would call this a scrubbed expedition to go to the surface anyway.
I mean, it's not a scrub. We did what we came for. We got the people out.
Everyone give me a difficulty 5. Let's see here. A difficulty 5 intelligence. Any sort of like intuition or general vibe check. Any sort of feelings check here. Skills would apply to this. So a difficulty 5
Thanks.
intelligence.
Yeah.
Identifying or assessing danger.
Feelings
take-
related to people, or
I'll take identifying danger. I'll take that one.
Oh
Let me
boy.
see. Let's see here.
I
and
have sense
Terry's-
amber.
And Terry's, your skills are.
I can sense ambush. That's the only thing that I can do.
Nope, no skills for you. Seydlitz, sense danger. Mina, let's see.
So I have a problem.
Okay.
I put effort to that, and that goes out of my intellect pool. That puts me at 0 intellect.
Okay, you become impaired, and all your future rolls after this point are at a step higher. I'll say astute works for you, Mina. So you can use that skill. And Korax, discerning true motives.
Any true motives?
Yep,
That's what I
100%.
Can I use my sense ambush?
It's not a skill. That's just an ability you have.
Yeah, I know.
So no.
But so I'm rolling intellect.
Yep.
But can I use that as like an asset? Is what I mean.
Nope. There's no
Okay,
ambush.
and-
You're not under attack.
What was the difficulty?
5.
5. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Nothing for.
Fuck off.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
You've
Okay.
doomed us all.
I haven't rolled a 1 in a long time.
It was about time. Korax, as luck would have it, the vibe here is off. There's something here in this space. Something about this space is different than the last time you were here. Not the complete absence of people. Something in the energy, the pulse of this place is off. And as you are sort of contemplating what to do, where to go from here, and the group is sort of discussing this, there's like that almost the hair on the back of your neck sort of stands, and like the hair, and it's not like a fear thing, and then the hair on your arm begins to like sort of extend, and it's almost like there's a small bit of electricity in the air, and you just feel something, and it's one of those things where like you kind of like get up and look around as if something were here, because you just feel something different, and as you begin to like maneuver to search for this feeling of differentness, you make your way through the town, through the shanty town, and everyone can see this if he's walking. And you feel as though it is coming from Aurelthus's house. There's a lot of like divine energy that happened there when she broke her staff or broke her spear and regained her godly powers. And at first, perhaps you think it might be some residual effect of that. And then the moment you cross the threshold into her house, everything feels like slow. You're still moving at normal pace. Everything seems normal, but everything feels slower. You feel like you want to move a little slower. You want to sit down. You want to lay down. Everything feels a little sleepy in this house. And you think that whatever Aurelthus did, this is where she did it. And it doesn't feel like a potion was drank here. It feels like there's some residual energy that feels divine.
And it's not like things are slow, it's a feeling of slowness.
Yeah, it's a feeling of like, it's like the entire presence in this room feels lethargic. And the moment you walked in, that lethargy sort of just kind of begins to like settle on your chest. And you feel like now's a good time to sit. It's a good time to throw an elbow on a table and put a chin in a palm and just sort of kind of melt in this room.
And if he leaves the room, does that stop?
It does stop.
He's going to walk back outside and back towards Mina. Whatever your mum did, I don't think it was simple. I think your whole house, or her whole house, is how she's did it. If I go in there, I just want to sleep, which lines up with Nod.
We should follow them, make sure they made it safely.
Is that our destiny? That is what she said. I can't remember if it was just to myself or to Mina as well, where she said we need to follow our destiny, and that she had them safe.
She also told us to choose the way down, and we didn't.
She did. But we still haven't chosen the way up. What we did is we chose how to get them out. And then we can still go down. We just need to figure it out.
Well, I'm out of ideas. If we don't follow them, we've got to go somewhere, and the Night Beast is likely to show up here any moment.
Mike, have those howls sounded closer than they were before or further away?
They sound closer.
How about we exit this spot?
As much as I'd love to sleep here and get some rest,
I
You're
don't
right.
think that's a good idea.
we have a map. We have the god of the hunt. Well, it's time to hunt for a way down.
Well, Seydlitz, you're looking like crap, so I think we need to find somewhere to at least rest a little bit.
I'll be fine. It's just a headache.
And Terry's,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you also sense that the vibe is off here. And perhaps
Yeah.
you've been trying to figure out what the vibe is. You did not have the same reaction as Korax had. You weren't led to any den of sleep. Your
Mhm.
vibe is a lot more anxious. Your vibe is a lot more the bad kind of weed. You're a little paranoid. You remember walking through the Plaza of Giants, and you remember seeing all the eyes, or hearing about all the eyes that I think Seydlitz saw. You remember the feeling of being watched, the uncomfortable sense of unknown in the great dark of the third deep, and you cannot shake that feeling. It's like what a reference. It's like the little squiggle that sometimes gets in your eye that no matter where you turn, you can never see what you think is watching you, but you think something is watching you. From the corner of your eye, shadows seem to slink back away from your vision. You see, like, every once in a while, a pebble will tumble down the stairs or down the side of a statue, and you can't help but think, what if something just scrambled around the side of that where I can't see? What's just beyond the periphery? What's just beyond the torchlight? Something's moving, something is watching us. We are not the hunter here. We are the hunted.
Mhm. Yeah. Fuck. We have to move. We can't stay here. And she looks agitated, and her eyes are kind of moving around. There's more than just the night beast down here. Say, let's come on. We need you here.
Well, if we need shelter, Seydlitz is going to consult the map, and he's going to look at some of the points of interest he's circled, and he's going to be looking for structures that are labeled to not have giants.
Labeled to not have giants. What a novel idea. You see a structure that seems to be, I mean, it's a picture, so it seems to be relatively sturdy from an artistic perspective. But there seems to be a location that is in. There's like a statuary, and inside the statuary is a dome, a domed structure that seems to be relatively safe. It is, distant enough from all of the giant marked locations.
And Seydlitz is just going, like, all right, come on. And he's going to start heading in that direction with no explanation.
Yeah. And Teres draws her sword and follows.
Seydlitz, I'm sorry, let's say this. Korax, Mina, are you also?
Yeah, Mina will follow along.
Yeah, Corex is before leaving the house. Was there anything like nerdish in the house, in Mina's mum's house?
Like to indicate that the goddess of valor was a nerd, or that they kept from
No.
Mina's nerdy childhood?
No, just nerdy things that Corax might find useful for future.
Yes. I mean, depending on your definition of nerd, there is a book on tailoring patterns. That's
completely useless. Yeah, then Corax is going to just follow on.
Get more nerdy than that.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
The goddess of ass kicking married a tailor. What did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't need that saved. That's all locked in his head.
It's like recipes, you got a bunch locked in there, but there's always some more. There's always an obscure pattern that someone wants. Jesus Christ.
Some obscure, useless pattern.
Yeah. Someone's gonna ask for something weird, like a toga out of nowhere. Outstanding. So you all begin to head off towards this domed area here. Say, let's go ahead and give me a difficulty 5 survival check, just to see how easily you arrive here.
You're muted.
Thanks for the call out. Just question. Survival check. I don't actually think I have a survival stat.
Whatever you have that is survival relevant. If not, it would be just a difficulty. Oh, it would be intelligence.
Navigation, running, travel skills.
I'll take
stealth.
navigation. Navigation would be appropriate here.
And just so I'm clear, because I have no pool of an intellect, I can't apply effort to this.
Correct.
Or can I just take from other pools?
Nope, you cannot apply intellect effort to this.
All right. So this is a straight roll.
I have faith in you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Perhaps misplaced, but I still have it.
I said I knew it. It's like I knew it.
See where that attitude gets you? Nowhere.
It gets us killed.
Outstanding. Oh
I would
man.
like to give us some crucians that give us XP, guys, just so you know.
I did say, I was like, hey guys, I gotta give you guys some XP, and here you are. You guys said, no, we got it.
Yeah.
We'll do it ourselves for free.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Okay. So, it turns out the map is hand-drawn. There are no distances. It's mostly made of landmarks. And while you are doing pretty well, trying to, discern where you are in relation to other places, you're able to do that by visual cues. However, it's difficult to gauge the distance when there is no metric for said distance. So what you think might be maybe a mile is actually a considerable amount farther than that. So you begin traveling towards this dome. All the while, Antares has her blade out. All the while, Antares, you continue to hear these sounds in the distance, and the sounds nearby, sounds on the periphery of your torchlight. You see shadows sort of move, and you can't be sure if it is just the shadow's reaction to the flame. Whatever is happening, you can't help shake this feeling of being watched. And as you make your way, Seydlitz, the paranoia begins to creep over towards you. And you too begin to see shadows move. You begin to see something out of the corner of your eye shift. You see a set of glowing eyes that dart away as soon as you look towards them. You too feel like every move you make, every step you take, someone's watching you. And you seem to be getting no closer to a dome. You don't see a dome in any direction around you. You think you're still going the right way, but you don't actually see it. So either you have drastically misgauged the distance, or you are going in the complete wrong direction.
Seydlitz, do you know where we're going? And she's looking around.
I'm pretty freaking sure it's this way, but this map doesn't have distance. So for all I know, this map could be measured in meters or kilometers.
Jesus.
4 days.
The equivalent. Yes, I feel it too, Antares. Do you think we could handle that, or should we just try to ignore it?
I think some of us could. Some of us can't. And she eyes Seydlitz.
Seydlitz just kind of shrugs at that statement. And it's like, well, I don't think I'm going in the wrong direction. So I'm going to keep going for at least a little while longer, and then we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, Antares suggests so they keep going. They don't stop.
Okay. What is everyone else doing as this is happening? Obviously, you can hear this conversation.
Leonard's just following along. He's been told that this is where they're going, so he's going along.
Korax is following, but he's also looking out for anywhere that's nearby, not necessarily from the map, like that's the destination, but looking for something close by that would at least count as some sort of place to rest if we had to stop now.
Fair enough. Go ahead and make me a difficulty 5 perception or searching kind of roll.
I've got finding the details.
I'll take that.
All right. And my proper big skills for searching are limited in size, so too small. Cool. Difficulty 5. Success?
Hell yeah. You recall looking at the map and hearing Seydlitz's description of the potential area that you are headed to, and you remember something about a statuary. And you see in the distance, in the direction you're going, more or less, but slightly off to if you're headed north, it's probably a little bit northeast, and you could have missed it. You see a couple of, nicely patinaed statues. All seeming to be humanoid, and roughly the same size as you. Like people-sized, not giants.
As the discussion is going on, Korax will look and say, well, if we don't know how far we've got to go, and he points, that's on the map. Is that going to be safe enough for at least stop for now?
I don't think anywhere is safe, technically, down here.
Safer than standing here.
Yes. Any cover is better than no cover.
And you see that with your eyes, or is that on the map?
No, he sees it with his eyes.
Okay.
You heading towards the statues?
Yeah, sure.
Why so suspicious?
Well,
Are they mundane, Mike?
They are
Yeah,
mundane
mundane.
statues.
From this distance, they're
Sounds like-
mundane.
From this distance, they are mundane. For sure. Absolutely mundane statues. As you head in the direction of the statues, they become clearer and clearer, and you begin to see hundreds of statues. A veritable statuary. You see raising up like gravestones in a cemetery. You see just statue. And you recognize that amongst these human statues, there are also Sleen statues. There are also Kathir statues. There are also Terran statues. So you notice the Terran are 6.5, 7 foot tall, semi-bestial humanoids. The Sleen are like the queen of Samora, the snake, the bipedal snake people. The Kathir are the snake-bottomed people. And you see various kinds of statues. You see the strange, those very weird bone meat suit wolf creatures that you saw before Seydlitz, as statues of those. You see statues of animals. You see statues of Nefar, so goblinoid, orc, ogre size statues in here. It just rows and rows of these statues, as if planted like a little stone garden. And as you begin to piece your way through, you do see in the distance a little bit of a glint. And in the glint, you see there is a golden dome. Probably a good, 2 or so football field lengths away.
These statues, Mike,
Yeah.
do they look like they are all standing like to attention? Or do they look like people that have been frozen in their space? Like that?
What a
Yeah.
what a specific question, Chris.
We're
Oddly
looking
enough,
right at them, so do we notice this?
oddly enough, they look like the latter.
That's not
Corax is not
mundane.
going to say a word.
That's not mundane at all.
From a distance, they looked mundane. Up close, less so.
Is this dome? So this dome is not the one we were moving towards?
It does appear to be one and the same.
Oh, okay. And Terry's like, well, this isn't fucking terrifying.
I don't want to stay here. Let's go. There's a dome. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And she's
I don't want to end up like this.
bum rushing everybody through these statues. And there, other than her torch, is there ambient light?
Nope.
She's gonna try and diminish her torch a little bit.
Okay.
I have no idea how.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not like a dimmer switch.
Yeah.
So your options are torch or no torch. I think is your
Yeah, how did the refugees get around? Were they
Torches.
just like braziers of light? Oh, so they just had torches. They had
torches
no
or
lanterns.
bioluminescent fungi.
Oh.
If you want to say that you guys collectively grabbed some bioluminescent fungi at the shantytown, that's totally fine.
Yeah, something, because at least the bioluminescence that can be covered, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I think, yeah. And the light didn't Lursan say the light attracts them, so she wouldn't have wanted to use a torch.
Okay.
So
So you sort of so we'll say you have bioluminescent fungi in like a jar or something. It's some sort of container, and you can sort of cover up a portion of it to reduce a chunk of the light. You begin to make your way through this area, and more these statues become looking horrific, as if they are frozen in fear, stopped in time. Some of them are fleeing in the direction that you are coming from. Some of them are fleeing away from the dome. They do see, some of them seem battle hardened. Some of them just seem world weary. Some of them seem like delving teams. You see like a squad of like 4 people sort of huddled together in fear. They seem to be having large backpacks, pickaxes, ropes, etc., all of which are frozen in stone. And you continue towards this dome. And as you approach the dome, you see that it is a semicircle. It's a half sphere, and you see at the edge, or where it meets the ground, at one point there's a large triangular hole in this thing that sort of juts out, almost like the door of an igloo. But triangular. And the entire thing glimmers in gold as you begin to make your way over here. And Terry's, in your paranoia, and Seydlitz in yours as well, for some reason, the paranoia hits a little harder in the knowledge that whatever was following you isn't. There are no more sounds, no more pebbles falling down slopes, no more eyes in the distance, no more shadows moving as you turn your head. There is nothing here.
Seydlitz is going to turn to Corax, because even he looks at the statues, even he knows like this is not something people just make. Corax, do you know of anything that could turn people to stone?
Not off the top of my head. Would he have read anything in the archives of the Queen, Mike?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and make me a difficulty. We'll call it a difficulty. You were in there for a while. Let's call it difficulty 3 intelligence roll.
Difficulty 3. Well, this is going to be a success unless it's... Do that again. Because of his divine shifts, it's going to take it down to 1. He's applying 1 effort. Success.
Gorgons turn people to stone.
He stops at the end of saying, "Not that I can remember," and he goes, "Well, actually, in the library, I read something about gorgons. So I don't possible here."
Call this a hunch. And he's pointing towards the triangular opening. If all and Terry, you don't feel the eyes anymore, so whatever is following us doesn't like this place either. What are the odds that that's a nest over there, and we should go somewhere else?
Well, I was trying to take comfort in the fact that these things weren't following us anymore. It wasn't working.
Maybe they know the way down. We can ask them.
Corax, are gorgons intelligent?
Yes.
He nods.
All right, Mina, with your big shiny shield, why don't you talk to them?
Okay.
Mike,
yep.
before Mina goes to talk to them, question on what Corax would have read. How long is there any information about how long it takes them to turn something to stone?
Let's find out. Let's find out.
Yeah. Is it automatic, or do they have to do something first?
Let's find out.
Can Mina stab it to death before it kills us?
Maybe.
If we look straight at it, do we turn to stone?
Maybe.
Oh.
Oh. It's not quick, but it's not slow. So the way it works mechanically, unless the Gorgon's head is hooded, each round, anyone is within short range who sees the Gorgon's face, which would be all of you, you must succeed at a might defense roll. If you fail, you automatically descend 1 step down the damage track. And if you reach the end, you are stone.
What's the difficulty?
Corax will put a hand onto Mina's shoulder and says, "If it goes wrong, it'll go wrong quickly. So when you talk to them, don't mess it up."
Sounds like another Tuesday. And Mina will head forward with his spear pointed down, but his shield up, and just call out and say, "Hello inside. Anybody there?"
If they remove their hoods, it's gone wrong.
You hear a voice that sort of like echoes. It like seems to bounce around in the statuary. You're not entirely sure where it's coming from. And you hear, "New friends, enter, enter."
Okay. Mina heads into the dome.
Does everyone else follow Mina?
And Terry as well.
Korax will, and he's going to activate his resonance field.
What does your resonance field do again?
Faint light lasts 1 minute. Creatures within immediate range that make an attack against me, it can try and block them, in effect. It's kind of like a shield.
Okay. Seydlitz?
Seydlitz is going to stay behind Mina.
But proceed inside.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
They might attack otherwise.
Okay.
Last question, Mike. How big is the door?
The door, it is probably 15, like, so from, like, the ground to, like, the peak of this triangle is 15 feet high.
15 feet. And how wide?
At the base, 15 feet wide. So it's a what do you call it?
Okay. Triangle.
That same sized triangle. Isosceles triangle? That's the one. That sounds right. So all the lengths are the same size.
Equilateral.
That's also a word. You head inside this area. The inside is massive. This dome. You see it sort of curve up, and you see in the center at the top there is a circle that is sort of emitting a like kind of like a washed out bronze light over everything, and it looks like an eyeball in the top of this thing. You see that there are like runes around the side of this thing, like at random intervals. You see there are massive twisted marble like spires, like sort of holding the dome up. You see that there are monstrous shapes carved into these marble pillars. You see that there are more, probably, if you were to take a step back outside of anxiety and fear, what could be considered the most awesome statues are reserved for this place. Either the most battle-hardened poses, the most terrified, the most extreme cases of statues are here. You see, on top of what you had seen outside, you also see beasts you don't have names for. You see a massive 10-foot tall winged creature with a wingspan that is easily 15, if not 20 feet, massive claws, completely frozen in stone. You see these massive six-legged, sort of feline, lupine sort of beasts in like leaping pose. You see just a menagerie of statues here. And you hear, sort of, again, bouncing around the dome, you hear, "Children of a broken world, welcome. Come closer. Enter my home. Let us speak and treat as equals."
Yeah, and Terry's will walk forward. Cautiously, but forward.
Okay.
Yeah, Mina moves into, I guess, what would be considered his home. We don't see the figure, do we?
You do not see the figure.
Yeah. Taking it, I guess it would be hard to work out where it's coming from, but whatever looks like the parlor of this place.
You look around, at trying to discern what, like, in a completely circular room, like a dome, what makes for, like, the separations of room. And in doing so, you begin to see, that the thing that was setting Antares' anxiety off as pebbles begin to fall down one of the pillars. And you see something shift out of the corner of your eye, and all of you sort of turn to look at this as you watch something very long and sleek begin to spiral down very elegantly down the one of these marble pillars. And it slumps to the ground and slithers over towards you. And what might be mistaken at first as a kathir, you see this thing begin to rise up, sort of weaving back and forth. And their body is easily 20 feet long, as far as you can tell. About 10 to 12 of which is now lifted itself off of the ground. So the more human torso is being pushed off the ground with this muscular snake body. And you see this Gorgon, whose head is beautifully wrapped in not exactly a turban, but a very ornate head wrap. A silk head wrap, and you see that their humanoid torso is bedecked in finery and jewels. You see that they have a cuirass of fine leather, some sort of hide with scales embedded in this. You see bangles and cuffs on their wrists, jewels, and you see that she sort of shakes her head, and like a single coil pops out, and she neatly tucks it back in. And you see that the coil begins to writhe and move around, and you see that there is a snake's head at the tip of this thing, as she neatly tucks it back in to what makes for essentially a bonnet. And she says, "Please, join me." And she motions her hand, and you see several torches light up. And where they light up, there is a large, probably 30-foot like banquet-style table full of food. And she says, "Let us speak of survival and beasts and monsters and what we can do for each other." And she dips down and slithers over to the head of this banquet-style table and slides silkily into her chair. Her massive tail wrapping around the base of it.
Yeah, and Terry's steps forward, and she says, "I must say, this is very impressive, all of this."
Flattery will get you everywhere, dear. Sit, enjoy the finer things.
Mina sits down at one of the chairs and says, "I don't know about you, but I could eat."
Everything on the table appears to be a meat. It does not appear to be meat that was eaten in the survivors' camp. This appears to be beasts. You're just not entirely sure what the what the name of this beast would be. You don't entirely have names for these things. Nothing on the table looks objectively humanoid in shape, if that helps at all. But everything here does seem to be a beast of some kind. Everything here is cooked. There are breads. There's no like vegetables. There are fungi. There are things native to the Third Deep. But you can't help but notice that there are things here that are native to the surface. Likely from packs of bags and items carried by travelers, would-be adventurers, seekers from various guilds. All here on the table. Hardtack bread, jerkies, wine, ales, crisp, clean water from the surface. All here on the table.
To me, it sounds like offerings.
That's a way to look at it. Another way is that she turned them to stone and took all the things out of their bags.
Yeah.
However you'd like to...
Both.
However you'd like to skin that cat.
Yeah, I think both are possible. Whether or not the offerings got them anywhere.
She looks
Um,
out and sort of gestures towards the table. Everything about her looks very, very like regal almost. And you look at the chairs as Mina goes to pull one out. The chairs are very ornate. They're cushioned, very plush, like velvet cushion. You see that the plates and the cutlery are well, the plates are plates, but the cutlery is shined to a mirrored finish as if like a fancy silver. And you see that as she motions, the light in the dome changes, and the eye, which still remains to be a giant eye, everything around it, as to what you could make as like the top of the dome, changes to be like almost like a night sky, and you can see twinkling lights that look like stars, sort of shining down in this area. And she says, "Please eat if you trust it. Drink if you dare. We are not enemies yet, are we?"
I very much would like not to be.
Mechanical question, Mike.
Yeah.
One of my skills, omniscience, gives me surface knowledge of an equal area in size to 10 meter cube, 10 foot cube, including all objects and creatures within that area. Is that something that's visible when it happens?
I'll say no.
I would like to use that ability. What Korax is specifically focusing on, rather than the Gorgon themselves, it's the food.
Okay. Okay. So you gain a knowledge of an area equal to, including all objects, creatures within the area, that must be short range, level of creature or objects. You also learn anything that I feel is pertinent to the matter of the area. Okay. You might learn that a glass cylinder is full of poisonous gas. Okay, cool. Okay, so focusing on what's the size? A 10-foot cube. Okay. So you can basically channel this into one half of the table. Or I'm sorry, I did say a 30-foot banquet, so a third of the table. And you know for sure that the third of the table in which you have sort of selected as your area, nothing is poison here. Nothing is a creature that normally has a humanoid shape. You confirm that. Nothing is a humanoid. There are sentient and sapient creatures here, so creatures that are fully capable of thought and rationale are dead here. But there are beasts that can do that. Nothing of a humanoid design. Nothing is poisonous. Nothing is toxic. And you do see that there are several types of mushrooms, as well as one of the wines. The wine that has sort of a like a deep bluish kind of color. Those are edible, non-toxic, non-poisonous. However, may get you high as balls. So not horrible, but not the best to drink in a situation, drink or eat in a situation where you do not have the upper hand.
He would mutter, in the hopes that only his companions can hear it, to say that the food's safe, but I wouldn't trust the blue shit and mushrooms.
Mina bows as much as he can, sitting at the table, and goes, let me introduce myself. I'm Mina Han, and you are?
You may call me Sethenic.
Sethenic.
I'll throw that in the chat for you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Sethenic. Thank you for offering us sanctuary.
By all means. This area is harsh. There are many things that should be avoided, many things that should be sought out, many things that should be forgotten, many things that are not what they seem. Isn't that true? And she looks at the four of you very pointedly.
I guess that can be said for anywhere and anyone.
I sense something within this group. You are unlike that of anyone else in my garden. What makes you so
Oh.
different?
I mean, we moved for one.
Very clever. Many of my statues
and-
were clever.
Mina pours himself some water and just says, well, we're just looking for a way down into the fifth depths. I don't know if that makes us any more special or different from anyone else here.
Hmm. And you thought to venture into the home of Sathenic and just simply ask for a way down.
I didn't think it could hurt.
Tell me, what do you know of the gods, children?
And Mina just looks at Corax.
So they died quite a while ago, but I also learned recently that there were gods before the gods, and then gods before those gods, and then gods before those gods, going back quite a way. But they all died.
Interesting. Interesting theology. Some of the gods, I believe, under good authority, have existed with all gods. I myself am a priestess of one of them. Perhaps you are aware of Typhon.
Sounds familiar.
Corax, you would know Typhon is the god of monsters.
Corax says nothing to that.
She says, not all gods can be destroyed by the fall. Not all gods were destroyed by the fall. If you seek to venture deeper, Typhon has been here since the beginning. He knows all. He sees all. He can get you deeper.
Do we really want to be bothering gods with our little quest?
For now he slumbers. The fall, it took a great deal out of him. I intend to wake him, with or without your assistance. With would be much faster.
How does one wake up a god?
You see her raise a hand and point towards the eye, and then sort of like, almost like drawing, drag a finger down, and you see the light that was kind of like a moon in this sky shift like a spotlight. And you see a large, like 15-foot by like 5-foot wide, this huge chalice, like this Stanley Cup level of thing that is ornate in like silver and like burnished copper accents to this thing. You see that there's like crystalline glass sort of makes up this thing. The chassis of this is that silver, and you see this cup, this massive chalice, this goblet, containing some level of liquid inside there. And she says, when Typhon drinks of this divine essence, he shall recover and wake. I seek items bearing divine spark. And you notice that nearby, at like the base of a pillar, is a bunch of like shields, bracers, boots, capes, swords. Your best guess is these are what make for magical items. These are ciphers. And mechanically, every cipher contains a small amount of divinity in them. That's what makes them magical. And you see this pile of like a small mountain of what once was magical items, now very mundane.
So they're not ciphers now.
They are not ciphers now. She has drained the essence of them.
I think Typhon would owe you a great debt if you managed to do that.
And he would owe you a great debt if you aided in the process. Perhaps a path down. Perhaps the answers you seek.
I don't think we have anything like that on us. Is there somewhere we can get that stuff for you?
You see, I, unfortunately, am bound to a small area around this dome. So I must wait for unkind travelers to venture into my threshold and take what they have. You seem to be of a different sort, and you are not bound here. So where I cannot, you can find me these relics, these items, these blessings of the once divine, and return here with them.
And you will tell us how to descend to the fifth depth?
I will wake Typhon, and he will be so grateful for your assistance that he can tell you the answers to any questions you may have.
Mina looks at everyone else and just says, sounds fair.
I think she'll take some wine and sip it. And
It's a very blush rosé. Delicious. A little tart.
yeah. I like my wine a little bit more from the Nightlands, but beggars can't be choosers. Whereabouts are these relics in this deep?
Oh, they could be anywhere. There are delvers from the surface world that come here to explore and find things. They run afoul of any number of beasts. The wolves, the scavengers, the giants. They often carry trinkets of small divine relevance. There are, from what I understand, given the amount of people I've seen from the surface, there are a great number of places on the surface where they can be acquired. Perhaps you carry something and you don't even know it. Anywhere you find divinity, it can be drained. Where you find it is entirely up to you. I must wait for it to come to me.
So you don't have like a place for us to go and find you one?
Oh, they come to me. All of this has just been fortune and fate.
We might be able to find something and bring it back to you.
By all means. You're free to come and go as long as we remain allies.
Well,
Mm.
I don't see a downside to this. We'll certainly keep you in mind if we encounter any of these items. And next time you're speaking to Typhon, just let him know we're rooting for him.
Typhon speaks to no one. He is long since slumbered. He rests in his tomb.
And where is his tomb? Just so we make sure we don't steal anything from him. Sorry, salvage anything from him.
Oh, you needn't worry. You'd never make it in. And you'd never make it out.
No, I just want to make sure that when we're looking, we're not looking there.
Avoid the giant sarcophagi.
Feels like that
Seydlitz
hardly needed to be
in the
said.
background, crossing out the giant sarcophagi on the map.
And where is that on here?
Where exactly? Oh, you mean the giant sarcophagi symbol on the map? That's crazy. How'd that get
Yeah.
there? Who wrote that down? Who wrote the tomb of a dead god down? That's wild. Never knew that could happen. She says, eat, drink, make merry. As long as we are allies, you are safe to come and go. And we are allies, right?
Well, of course.
Good.
Allies of convenience are a lot better than you think.
Good.
But I guess far be it from us to take up too much of your time. We should head out and see if we can find these items for you as soon as possible.
By all means, the sooner you find them, the sooner we wake Typhon, the sooner you get all of your answers.
And we've been searching for these answers for a long time, so she looks at them, at the guys. We need, I think, haste on our part is the word.
Although, if I can be so bold, you do look weary. Perhaps rest will do you well.
She motions to Seydlitz. He always looks like that.
Rude.
He's quite old.
Yeah. He is a wary traveler. Or a weary
Wow.
traveler.
Wow. Get out. Get out. And that's where we end today's episode. The dome actually collapses and everyone dies, and that's the end of the show.
You've enraged the Gorgon by your stupid pun.
Yeah. She
We're all
hates puns,
statues now.
actually.
That's actually her one true hatred is puns, and now she's
Yeah.
you've
All of a sudden her
enraged.
head
Yeah.
pops off. Oh shit.
Yeah,
It was to say that. Just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mina steps, pushes his chair out and stands up, bows again, and says, "We won't take up any more of your time, and we'll ensure we can come back with the items you need."
She
May not
uncoils.
be-
She begins to uncoil from the chair and sort of rise up again. She says, "As long as we remain in allyship, the monsters of the third deep will not harm you, and will watch over you to ensure a modicum of safety." And as she rises out of her chair, you see that there are shadows that sort of line behind her that at first glance may have been statues. And you see as torches sort of flare to life that there is a good 24 or so monsters in here. And as I promised, a GM intrusion for Corax. Just because I know you love them.
I've never said no, Mike, and I never will. Go for it.
That's why he asked you.
You see these lights, these torches light up, and you see rows of monsters that you do recognize, monsters that you don't recognize. Even as the god of knowledge, you don't recognize any of them. But that's neither here nor there. You don't care about any of these monsters, known or unknown, save one. You see, standing in the center of the pack, for everyone else blending into nothingness, you see one creature. You don't know this creature by name, but you know it by type. And you know that it is looking directly at you. You watch as a Rakshasa in the middle of the pack looks over at you, reaches in to the vest of its outfit, and pulls out a small timepiece. And you just see it swing back and forth, and then you see it tap it and slide it back into a pocket. And you know, as you have known for many months, you are on borrowed time, Korax. You may take your
He's
XP.
he looks at them as they stare at him, and he nods. He just nods very solemnly. He knows.
You have the knowledge that no matter where you go, no matter how deep you travel, she is watching and she is waiting. One XP for you, and you get to give 1 XP to someone else.
I'll give that to Seydlitz because he's in a bit of bother at the moment.
Okay. Fair
Hooray,
enough.
Now I have 1 XP because I also had 0.
I think everyone has 0. I think everyone burned through them a session or two ago. She begins to slither towards the group of you, sort of leading you towards the entrance of her dome. All the time, sort of cooing pleasantries into your ears, reminding you that you are allies. And everything she says, it seems to be like a sugar-coated poison tablet, where she's reminding you that you are allies, but every time she says that, there's an underpinning of, and if we weren't, motions to statues. Everything seems like, as long as we're friends, you get to live, is the vibe she's giving off. But never does she threaten any of you. She just kindly reminds you that you are allies, and then confirms that we are allies, right? As she guides the 4 of you out of, or to the entrance of her dome, as you have not taken her up on taking a little snooze here. You get to the entrance of the dome, and she says, "Is there anything else you need that could aid you in your journey?"
I don't
Well,
think
guys,
so.
anything?
No.
No?
No.
I mean, came here looking for a heading, and you've kind of given us one.
I mean,
So
Mina looks at Antares and Seydlitz. You thought someone was following us? I don't suppose you noticed anyone following us when we approached here?
The beasts have been following you. At my command.
That was nice of them.
Fair enough.
How
Makes
else am
sense.
I to lure new guests to the garden?
I mean, maybe a nice sign somewhere, advertising in a newspaper or something.
Oh,
Do they have
interesting.
newspapers down here, Mina?
Interesting. Clever. Many of them were clever as well.
I've heard.
Enjoy
Clever
your time.
makes the best statues, I've heard.
Clever, daring, brash, wary. They all make good statues in the end. And if they don't, you simply topple them over and it's as if they never existed to begin with. I do
Well, it's
hope
nice
you
meeting
enjoy.
you.
I do hope you enjoy your time in the Third Deep.
It's been the most interesting deep so far.
Well,
So I've heard.
thanks to your help, it should be better.
Well, you are welcome for whatever part I can play. And I await your return.
Okay, bye. And she's gonna link her arm through Seydlitz's arm and start walking with him.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Whoever is last, you see her reach up over the side of her head and begin to pull off this thing and begin like shaking out the curls of these just head full of snakes as they sort of writhe and move as if she's like shaking her hair out after having it tied up. And she recedes back into the shadow of her dome.
Seydlitz is going to lead into Antarius and whisper, "We're never coming back here."
And she's gonna look. Where is the exit up from where we are?
Honestly, that is probably the best idea.
I know you really want to find your answers.
I know, but I'd rather not fight a freaking Gorgon.
Guys, it's just a
Or
little
do
Gorgon.
exactly what, or just do exactly what Lucerin told us not to do. And we literally walked in her front door.
How was I supposed to know?
Well,
There was no
it was
label on
very-
the map that said, "Priest is here, do not go."
Yes. Well, yes, but she she nudges him. Get the map out. Figure out which direction we need to go from here. We're going straight to the exit.
Seydlitz agrees with Antarius, and he's pulling the map out, and he's looking for Lucerin's labeled exit.
Okay.
How
You
loud are they
find.
being?
Sorry,
They're
go ahead.
whispering.
What?
You find his exit where it's marked on the map. You kind of get your heading. Go ahead and give me a difficulty 3 navigation roll.
I am just. The dice do not like me today.
Hell yeah. We'd love to see
Can't
it.
even add effort.
You do have an XP.
No,
Okay.
just got it.
Hey, I don't control when you use it. You find your rough heading, and again, same problem as before, right? There's no direction, there's no distance in here. You're pretty sure you're going in the right direction, as you have an impeccable sense of direction, but you have no idea how long it's going to take you to get there. As Antares and Seydlitz have this conversation, gain their heading, and set off, Mina and Korax, what are the two of you doing?
I think Mina just says to Corex, was that Typhon guy a good guy or?
Well, he wasn't in my books, but Lucerin said, "Do not wake him. Do not seek him out." And he said, "Do not seek her out either."
I mean,
To
we-
clarify, Chris, Typhon is in your books. Typhon is the god of monsters in your pantheon, as well as, if you believe what Sethenic says, all of the previous pantheons as well.
Okay. I didn't think he was in ours. Okay. In which case, then, yeah, he's just the god of monsters. Whether that's good or bad depends on which side of the fence you sit, right?
I mean, one person's monster is another person's friend.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But we have them looking out for us while we're here now. It's going to make travel here easier while we search for the way down.
I think Antares turns around We're going up.
Why would we
Correct
go
will
up
stop.
when we're already here?
She looks at Seydlitz.
She never said we couldn't go up to find her artifacts. And honestly, I do not feel comfortable being watched over by monsters. At the end of the day, if we're meant to find a way down, maybe going up sometimes you might have to go up to go down again.
I mean, being watched by the monsters isn't great, but it's better than being attacked by them. I'm not saying we trust them. I'm not saying we rely on them, but it'll give us some reprieve while we rest and recuperate. And he sighs and he looks to Mina and he says, "We're here to find our destiny. That's why we're here.
Yeah,
If you
and-
believe that it's up, then cool."
The only reason why
I'm
we're
willing to go.
here, the only reason why we're here is because Seydlitz needed to find answers about his father.
Well, Ed Terry's to correct you. We're here because Mina needed to save his village.
That was just a side thing. No offense. Obviously it's
Oh,
important.
offense taken.
If
I mean, it was Korax's family too.
Yes, but with that we didn't know they were down here until after we got to Dawn's Fall. We were already on our way here, and the mission was, remember, the Queen funding an expedition down to the deep. That was Seydlitz's
which we left
request for
behind
helping
on the
with the war.
surface, I should remind you.
Yes,
we've
because
gotten this
you
far.
two ran off to save your
We are
families.
further.
But the whole
Yeah,
the
we're
whole
further
reason
than they
why
would have
we're
ever brought
here,
us.
we don't know that. Their mission was to bring us him
All right,
here.
children, calm down. How about this? We go to the exit, but we do not ascend. If the monsters are staying away from us, it will give us, if we go there and sit there and sit camp and just take time to think, it'll give us time to make our decision. Besides,
Finding camp
most of
is
those
most important.
passages are safe from what we've experienced.
I hate to say it,
I'm
but
up
I
for
feel
that.
like Telbin has set us on this path. We should move forward. But I'm happy to rest somewhere. We certainly need it.
Well, I'm going
And
to
my-
Do
the
you wanna
exit,
rest in
and
the
I'm going to
entrance?
set up camp there, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Sounds fair.
Seydlitz, with or without them, is going to proceed.
She follows.
Korax and Mina.
Before following, Korax just looks at Mina, holds it like he stare at him for a few seconds, shrugs, and then just follows.
Mina sighs and just follows along behind.
You continue following Seydlitz, some of you with purpose, some of you trudging a world-weary trudge. Seydlitz, it takes you several hours to find where you believe Lucern's marcation of the path upward. But you do find this path. Wending through caverns and stairs and passages too small for giants to access, passages that look like they were burrowed by subterranean worms, passages that bear claw marks and handholds. You see a path that has not been traveled by a good many. You think that this path is unknown to the guilds of the holds. This is a previously undiscovered Delver's path, or at least unreported Delver's path. And you begin to make your way up through tunnels, through passageways. You guys climb and climb and climb. And Seydlitz, judging by the length of time in which you are climbing, the hours that have passed, the distance you are going straight vertically or at a slant, you have a feeling as though this pathway that Lucifer had sent you on directly goes to the surface. And at this point, you have climbed to a point that is somewhere between the first deep and the second deep. But collectively, you are exhausted after hours of travel. And you find yourself at a large outcropping, a large precipice that you have just sort of climbed over. Similar to the one that you fell down from the first deep to the second deep. A large cliffside that you have scaled. You ascend over the top of this, and there's a alcove of stone, probably a good like 40 by 40 roughly area here, with an outcropping of stone that's sort of like almost like a half dome of stone, sort of covering you guys. And you are able to set up camp here. You know that several hours back down will lead you to the third deep, and you're pretty confident that a few more hours up will eventually lead you out. Where, you're not entirely sure. Where you'll pop up on the surface, you're not sure. But you think you're at roughly the halfway mark here, which is a steep climb, so you'll see anything coming from below, and a steep drop from above. So you feel pretty safe here that nothing is going to randomly appear out of nowhere and sort of assail you in your sleep. You can set up camp here, unfurl bedrolls, relax, catch your breath, and decide what to do next. You literally sit at the crossroads of up and down. As you begin to set up camp, a small fire stoked, bedrolls set out, whatever you have for hardtack and jerky, and if anyone pocketed any food from Sathenix's table, you may eat and sup of that. But as you settle in to a precariously perched camp, what are you deciding? How are you deciding it? And where will this journey continue from? What do you do?
Seydlitz takes a nap. I need.
Seydlitz does a big sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Korax is going to be more annoyed than anything. And he's just going to find a corner, put his back to a wall, and probably start to doze off rather than getting into arguments.
Okay.
Mina finds a quiet spot and tries to pray to his mother to find out if they're safe.
Go ahead and roll me a difficulty 6. You can choose the pool, whatever pool you're rolling for this. And are you just seeking like, hey, mom, checking in, like a text message? Hey, checking in, you good?
I think so, but also seeking guidance. She told him to go down, so he wants to go down. But now it seems like his friends are dragging him back up. So he's just seeking a bit of guidance from her as well, what he should do.
Okay. I'll tell you what. No roll needed, Norm. Instead, GM intrusion.
I'll take it.
Hell yeah, you will. You settle in into a nice comfortable spot where you can pray and you can sit and you can ponder. And you unknowingly, unplanned, you begin to doze off. And in your prayer, your last thoughts were of your mother, of Nod, of the new information that you have that that Antares is your cousin, that your mom is the sister of the god of sleep, who you know as the King of Nod. And you ask for guidance, whether you should go up, whether you should go down, sideways, all around. And you see the castle on Nod, the king's castle, a place you've ventured before several times. You see there is a heated discussion happening between Aurel, your mother, and Raphius, who you now know to be the king's true name. You see people all around, the denizens of Dawn's Fall, looking confused, scared, trepidatious as they all watch this heated discussion go on. You don't hear the discussion, but during it, you see Raphius look up and make direct eye contact with you. And in doing so, your dream form is shunted from this scene. Whatever's happening here is not to be known by you. And as you hurl through the astral dream presence, you make your way through the jungles of Nod, and things begin to darken around you, the same way it did when you all had first ventured there in the Sea of Nightmares. And the jungle sort of closes around you. And in darkness, you sort of float and hang there, and your feet touch down on solid ground. Although it is not solid ground of the jungle. It is a solid stone foundation where you see nothing around you. And you begin to hear a sound. Sort of a clicking sound, but it's more hollow. You're not entirely sure what the sound is, but it does have a familiar cadence to it. And you realize that it's footfalls. Although they don't sound like the slap of a bare foot or the clack of a heeled shoe. They sound more hollow, more like a clopping sound. And coming into view, you see a creature, bipedal, 8 feet tall, massive barrel chest, large arms, hairy, inverted goat legs, clip-clop along the stone. And you see the bestial face of this creature, its pupils bloodshot and red, sort of glow in the darkness. And you watch it move over to you. And where you were confident nothing was between you, just a vast empty space, this creature reaches out and grabs a fabric that seems to have always been there and pulls this fabric off, and you see on a pedestal there's a large teardrop-shaped object, sort of opalescent, sort of shifting the way the sun reflects in an oil slick. These sort of shifting purples and golds and greens and blues and pinks sort of move around this. And whatever this is, you feel potential. Untapped, unbridled potential. And this creature turns to you, and in a voice that feels like dying, you hear, "The beginning of all, or the end of everything. You seek the seed." And it throws the fabric back over this. And as it lands, you are back in darkness, the creature gone, the pedestal gone. and you drift off to uncomfortable sleep. That is your GM intrusion. You have an XP, and you have one to give away to whoever you'd like.
I think Antares needs one, so
Okay. Antares, last to slumber. What are you doing?
She would have talked with the guys, but they all seem to be closing themselves off in the moment. I think she just takes out the journal that Telbin gave her, and she's just gonna keep watch and write in it. Scribble a few notes here and there.
What are you writing in this moment?
I think she feels like she knows they want to go down, and she thinks that Seydlitz is very torn on the thought, but Korax and Mina very much want to go. I think she's felt the tension as they've gone up this trail, and I imagine like there has been like no conversation whatsoever during that whole time. So I think she says that if they want to go down, that she will go with them, of course. That's never not going to be an option for her. But she knows it'll be the end of her.
Interesting. Just to round it out here a little bit, I'll have one for you next time, Seydlitz, don't you worry. A GM intrusion for you as well, G. Although I know that Chris and Norm always take a GM intrusion before I have to explain what's happening to them. So a little insight here. The shadows begin to move around you, and everyone else is asleep, and only you see this. Would you like a GM intrusion? You're muted. Sorry.
You're muted, G.
Is it the same type of shadow movement that they had below?
No.
Back in the third? Okay. I'll take it regardless. So
you write in your journal, and there's a moment where you think you see the shadows move, in the same way that you had that paranoia earlier, except when you go to look at it, your fears are confirmed. Quite literally, the shadows are moving. More specifically, your shadow is moving, even though you are not. You see your shadow sat there in the flickering light of what makes for a little campfire. And when you saw this, you had quill to notebook, or quill to journal, and you were writing. And as you see movement, you look over, and despite the fact that you have changed positions, your shadow is still holding the quill to the notebook. And you see it moving erratically, as if your shadow is writing. And you can sort of hear overlapping, echoing whispers just below, like just above the level of perception. You can't make out what they're saying. It just sort of sounds like hushed muttering. As you begin to watch your shadow scribble things, you see another movement, and you look down, and you see words forming on your page. But as they are doing so, just as quickly, they are beginning to lift off the page almost like smoke, like evaporating shadow. And a words are forming on your notebook. They say, Mother is erratic. She swears to find you. All resources have been bent to your death and the death of your companions. It is not safe for you anywhere. Run. Hide. Know you are still loved, sister. And you recognize Rastaban's handwriting in your journal as they wisp away to shadows.
Shit.
And as you read that, there's a moment where I think you look up to explain what just happened, to confirm that you're not losing your mind. And as you do, you look and see all three of your companions blissfully unaware of any new tragedies that may have befallen you, as they have all drifted off to slumber. And you alone sit with a new knowledge that you are being hunted collectively by another force. And that is where we end this episode of The Rise.
Oh, come on, Mike. Let's get going.
Episode 53, The Way Between. That is it for this episode. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here so we can do our after show exclusively over on Patreon. If you guys want to see that after show, join us just like these fine folks over on our Patreon. Link in the description down below. While you're down there, make sure you click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the conversation. Be a part of the community. Talk about this game, all the other games, all your cool theories, and fun shenanigans that we have in the Discord. That being said, in order of sleepiness, we will start. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Mike, aren't you more sleepy than me?
That's true, but I don't get an introduction. I live here. Everyone knows who I am.
Yeah, I'm Matt Ordy. You can find me here on the Patreon campaign in the Patreon one-shots that happen not next weekend because we rescheduled that, didn't we?
We did.
It's on the 12th of next month, so
Correct.
catch us on the 12th.
Double one-shots next month. Perfect. Jumping right over to Chris. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I'm Chris Akenecker. You can find me here in the Rise, as well as the Patreon one-shots. And then I'll be in the chat tomorrow.
Hell
that's
freaking
all.
yeah. Hell yeah. Next up, Norm, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Normal Snow. You can find me here in the campaign and in the one-shots whenever they are.
Heck yeah. And last but not least, no sleep for the weary. G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hello. I'm the friendly neighborhood lighting invoker. You can find me in all things unMadeGaming, modding for the week, weekly streams when they happen. This campaign, the one shots, which July 12th is our June reschedule. And tomorrow for the other Patreon campaign, Mundus Novus, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find me in the Discord all the time.
Hell freaking yeah. That's it for us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, if you guys want to see the after show, hear the players' thoughts on what the hell just happened, their stars and wishes for follow-on episodes, join us over on the Patreon, link in the description down below. But that's it from us. We'll see you guys next time. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.